This is called 23 and Me, or 23 and You. Depends on how xenophobic you are. There's no such thing as race. We're all related. There's nothing beyond a 24th cousin. I mean, seriously. We've been around for a very, very long time, and we all started in the same place. People tend to migrate. That's what we do best, is migrate. We don't like it where we are. Food gets scarce, weather gets bad, we migrate in all directions. We learned how to travel on water at a very early period of time. So water had never been really an obstacle. You know, people basically behaved like tree seeds. They traveled with the wind, scattered all over the world. And as they traveled, they adapted to whatever climate they appeared in. Everybody started out kind of a dark chocolate brown because the African sun tends to cause your body to produce melanin, which is a natural occurring skin pigment. If you're out of the sun for generations, your ability to make melanin pretty much disappears. Us people from extreme northern latitudes have lost our ability to make melanin. If we stand out in the sun too long, we burn. I mean, that's why Irish people don't like to go out in the sun. And us gingers have a terrible time. Anyway, we started out in East Africa. And we spread north, south, east, and west, over land, over water, through 2 ice ages and global warming periods, which meant the bridge between Asia and North America was sometimes there and sometimes not. But that didn't bother the people that went south and east from, Africa. They island hopped in boats. And as they tended further south and further, towards the poles, they again kind of lost their ability to make melanin too. And they went down through the archipelago, through Java, Sumatra, and Polynesia and Micronesia, and then traveled by boat. They picked up the trade winds, blew across the Pacific, and settled in places like Easter Island, and eventually bumped into South America, and then headed north over land. So the people on the western coast of South America and the western coast of Central America and the southwest of the North American continent are Polynesian. Check the DNA. In the meantime, they mixed with people that had come from other places as people went across the Bering Straits, both ice ages, because it became a land bridge, walked down over the North American continent to more favorable climes, and those were Mongols because they moved up into Asia. And because the bright sun, the sharp winds, and dry climate, they tended to develop strange things with their eyelids, which made their eyelids capable of being sandblasted. Those were Mongols. That was the Mongol skin characteristic. And, it was basically the lost their ability to make melanin, but they also developed the toughness in their skin to withstand being sandblasted for large periods of time. Those people drifted into North American continent over the land bridge and became the Aleuts, the Eskimos, the Belliculas, and they interacted with the people coming up from the south, from Polynesia, and gave us the Plains tribes, as well as the Western Mountain Native Americans. In the meantime, people started traveling across the Atlantic, following the fish. They came across in reed rafts through either the Mediterranean out through the Straits of Gibraltar or off the west coast of Africa. They took these reed boats and sailed on the trades and ended up in the Caribbean islands and started populating the east coast of South America, the east coast of Central America. The Andes were quite a barrier. These people were they found Egyptian artifacts and burial mounds clear up in northern Ohio. These people went up the Mississippi River Valley. Those are the Choctaw, the Cherokee, some of the Cree. Basically went into the prairie, but they liked the forest, so they tended to tend to the forest. That was the Cherokee Nation. And then there are my ancestors that came across the North Atlantic in leather boats to flee Caesar, because Caesar was getting to be really, really scary, and the Picts really didn't like Caesar, and some of them decided that they saw the writing on the walls. They hopped on the boats they'd been fishing with, island hopped across Iceland and Greenland into North America and eastern Canada. Those people were the Ojibwa, which were the precursors of the Cherokee Nation. They ranged west into the Great Lakes. I was really, really surprised when I checked my DNA, when my brother checked our DNA, and even though family folklore said that there were Native Americans in our ancestry, came through as Irish. Now, how can people from Poland and Germany end up with Irish ancestors when there were no Irish people in that part of the world at that particular time, except for the Ojibwa, who fled the Vikings and continued westward? Now, the Vikings were an interesting mixture all of themselves. They were an admixture of Northern European, Pict, and Viking. So that DNA, traveled all through Western Europe. In the meantime, the Mongols came clear over into Poland, Mongol invasion. That's why Russia's so fucked up, because all of these people interacted, intermixed. The Mongols basically, they kept the women for sex and killed everybody else. So there's a large population of people in Eastern Europe that are of Mongolian descent. They look like Western European people, but they got Mongolian DNA, which is from China. Not a lot of DNA. But the migration routes have still continued. Basically, there's nothing beyond 25th cousin, unless some of your ancestors were fucking with monkeys and apes. And that's the truth. We love you. Smoke them if you got them. Bye.